Run it back.
And when are we going to start it?
Exactly at 3.
Correct.
Abbas, are you here?
A great moment, great launch. Inshallah Ta'ala, we'll have a very pleasant short ceremony. कल सादिक इंस्टीट्यूट तकरीबन 2007 से लोगों में अवेयरनेस पैदा करने के लिए और ख़ास तौर पर यूथ में और प्रोफेशनल्स में अवेयरनेस इस्लामिक फाइनेंस, इस्लामिक बैंकिंग, तकाफुल के हवाले से काम कर रहा है। 16 साल का ये अरसा कि जिसमें असल मिशन ये था और है कि लोगों को इस्लामिक बैंकिंग, इस्लामिक फाइनेंस और तकाफुल के हवाले से तरबियत की जाए।
मुसलमान मुल्कों में और गैर मुसलमान बैंकों में इस्लामिक बैंकिंग राइज की जा रही है। इट्स अ प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस ऑल्सो। और जाहिर है कि अगर अल्लाह के हुक्म पर काम करेंगे तो बरकत तो अल्लाह ताला दे ही देगा। मैं बैंकर हजरात से दरख्वास्त करूंगा कि इसको प्रोफेशन के बजाय एक आइडियोलॉजिकल बेस्ड सर्विस समझें।
अब जो जनरेशन शुरू हो रही है इस्लामाइजेशन की, उसके अंदर 3 बड़े काम होने हैं। पहला काम इनोवेशन है कि हमें कौन से ऐसे काम करने चाहिए जिसके जरिए इस्लामिक फाइनेंस के हम कह सकें कन्वेंशनल से डिफरेंट है। अब तक जो हुआ है उसने सिर्फ एक चीज प्रूव कर दी है कि समथिंग इज डूएबल। तो एक जो दूसरा बड़ा टास्क है हमारा आने वाले वक्तों में वो लेजिस्लेशन है। और आप ये बात याद रखिए कि जिस मुल्क ने अच्छी लेजिस्लेशन कर ली, इस्लामिक बैंकिंग का हब वो बन जाएगा।
जो हमने फैकल्टी को ऑन बोर्ड किया है वो मेजॉरिटी उसके अंदर वो लोग हैं जो प्रोफेशनली इसके अंदर काम कर रहे हैं। दे आर बोथ ICC क्वालिफाइड भी हैं अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, एंड दे आर क्वालिफाइड फ्रॉम द AOF एज वेल। तो ये एक बहुत अच्छा मिक्स हमारे पास एक पूल है जिसके अंदर मुफ्तियान कराम भी हैं, शरिया स्कॉलर्स भी हैं और प्रोफेशनल बैंकर्स भी हैं, जिसके अंदर वो एक ब्रीफ एंड टू एंड ट्रांजेक्शन विद रिगार्ड टू शरिया एस्पेक्ट एंड विद रिगार्ड टू रेगुलेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो स्टेट बैंक की है वो इसके अंदर इंशाल्लाह कवर करेंगे।
There is a lot of thousands of people where there is a serious issue of capacity building, and the endeavor which is taken by the Al-Sadiq Academy and Al-Nasi Academy is really commendable। और जो कोर्स आउटलाइन इन्होंने बनाया है उसमें दोनों एस्पेक्ट बहुत अच्छी तरीके से कवर।
स्टेट बैंक जो है वो हमेशा से कमिटेड रहा है टूवर्ड्स इस्लामिक बैंकिंग आफ्टर द डिसीजन ऑफ रिबा। और एक रिबा की इस डिसीजन में ये खासियत है कि चैलेंज नहीं हो सकता और रिवर्ट भी नहीं हो सकता। किसी भी वजह से पाकिस्तान में पॉलिटिकल विल की वजह से डिले तो हो सकता है, लेकिन इंशाल्लाह ये रिवर्स नहीं हो सकता किसी भी सूरत में। तो 2027 दिसंबर की डेडलाइन है वैसे तो अभी, जिसमें वी हैव टू कन्वर्ट डिस्पाइट हैविंग द डिफरेंट हर्डल्स या जो भी हमें डिफ़िकल्टीज आती हैं, चाहे वो लिक्विडिटी मैनेजमेंट से, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज़ की हो या दूसरी, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली हमें अपना टारगेट जो है वो 2027 तक ही रखना है।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الحمد لله رب العالمين أست
Jazakallah, Subhanallah. Ameen, Sidaqallah Azim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful and the most kind. A very good afternoon and good evening to everyone who is engaging with us via this webinar. I welcome you all to today's enlightening session on Green Modarabas, financing through Islamic structures. I'm your moderator, Sayyida Madiha Rubab, for this today's webinar. And on behalf of Al-Sadiq Institute of Islamic Banking, Finance, and the Takaful, I extend my warmest greetings to all participants, professionals, and students of Islamic finance who have joined us from across the country and even beyond. As we step into an era of responsible finance, the intersection of sustainability and Sharia-compliant financing is more critical than ever. Today, we delve into one such innovative solution, Green Modarabas, an evolving avenue of Islamic finance that has the potential to drive sustainable development while staying true to Islamic principles. We are very much thankful to Mr. to Mr. Ameer Ali, to Talha Ameer Khan for his valuable time. Mr. Talha Ameer Khan is a very renowned professional. He is a highly accomplished professional with an impressive academic and business track record spanning over a decade. In his current role, he is serving as Managing Director, Investments at Burj Clean Energy Modaraba. He has achieved rapid advancement within 1 year, overseeing substantial investment in renewable energy and successfully spearheading the IPO of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba. His prior experiences at MCB Bank and Habib Bank reflect his proficiency in investment banking, providing structuring and executing debt financing deals, IPOs, and credit risk analysis. His strong financial acumen is complemented by his FMVA certification, mashallah, and his multifaceted expertise makes him an invaluable addition to our team. So, sir, over to you. The virtual mile is over to you. It's an honor. Thank you, sir.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much, Madhya, for a kind introduction. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and good afternoon. First of all, I would like to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's very much visible.
Great. First of all, I would like to thank you, Al-Sadiq Institute, for providing me this opportunity to interact with the people like you who are interested in knowing more about Mudarabas or Islamic finance structures, and particularly green Mudarabas. So,
We are honored.
yeah, great, thanks. So before we move on with the content of this webinar, I would like to tell you a little bit more about myself first, and most of the introduction has been done by Madhya. But I would like to give a brief intro of mine by myself, so that you have a bit more context about my background and my professional and academic experiences. My name is Talha Ameer Khan. I'm currently working as Managing Director Investments in Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, which is Pakistan's first clean energy fund listed on Pakistan Stock Exchange. I've been associated with this initiative for the last 3 years, and it has been an amazing experience and a journey in itself, where I spearheaded the IPO process of first clean energy fund in Pakistan. Before that, I have been associated with a number of local banks in Pakistan. I'm an investment banker by profession, and recently being associated with the green finance. And lucky to my credentials that I started my career with Mizan Bank, which is of course the largest Islamic bank in Pakistan. So all in all, I have a total work experience of around 11 to 12 years, of course, local experience in Pakistan. And as far as my academic credentials are concerned, I'm a CFA charter holder. I am also a certified financial model, and I did my MBA from National University of Singapore. I spent 6 months at LBS, London Business School, and I'm also an IBA alumni. And in addition to what I've been doing professionally, I'm also a teacher. I'm a visiting faculty at IB and KSBL. I'm also a trainer giving professional trainings to executives, particularly in the space of finance and green finance. So before we move on with the main content, I would like to give you a bit more perspective about my own company and initiative, which gives me an opportunity to learn more about Sharia compliant financing structure, which is of course in the name of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba. Burj Clean Energy Modaraba is an initiative of Burj Capital, which is a Dubai-based private equity fund. And the idea came 3 years back when we started working on this initiative and got the approval in 2022 from SECP. Now it has been listed on PSX, Pakistan Stock Exchange, a few months back, last year in the last quarter. And this Modaraba is a multi-purpose Modaraba, perpetual in nature with a paid-up capital of 1 billion piece. It is just a start as far as our plans are concerned. We are seeing this Modaraba growing pretty fast considering the growth trajectory of renewable energy projects in Pakistan and of course Islamic finance in this country. This Modaraba has the mandate from the regulator to invest not only in the renewable energy projects, but also in energy storage, energy efficiency, and e-mobility projects as well. We generally do projects on build, own, operate, transfer basis, which is BOOT model, where we act as a developer, the Modaraba act as a developer, structure the project, raise financing from banks and equity from the market, and do all kind of capex installation and get the project running. And after the commercial operation date of the projects, the Modaraba is also responsible to operate it for the next 20-25 years, whatever the tenure of the BOOT model is. And to add what I have said about the Burj Clean Energy Modaraba is that this is the first Pakistan Sharia compliant clean energy fund, which is listed on Pakistan Stock Exchange. We listed ourselves on the Growth Enterprise Market Board, which is GEM board, and we were the 7th company listed on this board. And our plan is to migrate ourselves to the main board of the PSX. Our target timelines to migrate ourselves to main board is 2026, last quarter, which is fourth quarter, of course, next year. And we have, considering the mandate we have to work in the renewable energy projects, there's quite a lot of growth and potential available in Pakistan in this space, considering the challenges that we have been facing in Pakistan with regards to energy and energy prices. And to basically end this slide, I would like to say something that in the last 1 year and so we have witnessed that the technology has improved quite a lot when we talk about the renewable energy, particularly solar and wind energy. The prices and the costs of these projects have drastically come down, which makes this renewable energy space quite attractive for businesses and to make investments into. If I talk about quickly the verticals that we are working under this Modaraba is basically, of course, renewable energy, where we predominantly invest and develop projects in solar vertical and wind vertical. And on top of it, we also provide financing solutions for energy storage, which is battery technology. Since our parent company, which is in Dubai, invested itself in the energy storage manufacturing facility in the name of brand Enercap. So we also provide financing to this energy storage technology in Pakistan as well. And we also seriously considering making investments and doing projects for energy efficiency as well in Pakistan, since we know that by doing energy efficiency projects, you can save quite a lot of waste of energy, which your factory may be incurring, and resultantly you can save quite a lot of expenses for your company. So coming back to the topic that we have at hand right now for this webinar is basically to learn about Islamic finance, particularly in the space of green and clean energy. First of all, I would like to talk something about the importance of Islamic finance. Of course, there is quite a lot of synergy available when we talk about Islamic finance and sustainable development. And to narrow down our discussion, we will specifically talk about the Modarabas and green Modarabas in particular, and how this green Modaraba helping the cause of Islamic financing ecosystem in this country. The objectives of this session, which we have outlined, is as follows: is to understand the basic concepts of green Modarabas or green financing. We'll also see what kind of Islamic principles applicable when we talk about financing the renewable energy projects. And last but not the least, I quickly run through one of the successful case studies that we are experiencing right now under this Burj Clean Energy Modaraba initiative, where we are executing one of the first wind energy project under the captive model. So as the name suggests, Modaraba, and what the structure of the Modaraba is as far as the Islamic finance is concerned. So under the Modaraba, it is basically a partnership where one party is act as an investor, the other party act as a manager. The investor is also known as Rabbul Mal, and the manager is known as Mudarib. The investor is the one who provides capital, but Mudarib is the one who is act as the manager, the one who manages the funds. And since it is a manager, it has the relevant skill sets and management skills and expertise to manage this fund. It is basically, if you can compare it like any other fund structure, it is a plain vanilla, LPGP structure where a limited partner comes in as with his own capital and general partner acts as the manager. So, but
Apologies, sir.
yeah.
Sir, can you please slightly, like your volume is a bit low.
Okay. Is it better now?
More, I'll appreciate.
Okay, fair enough. I can speak a bit louder so that we
Yes.
can hear a voice.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks. Okay, no worries. So when we talk about Modaraba, as I said, that it's plain vanilla fund management kind of a structure where the limited partner LP coming in with the capital, and the general partner GP is the one who manages the fund. Of course, the GP should have relevant skill set and the management expertise to manage that fund which investor provides in for this Mudaraba. Later on, I will talk about what Green Mudaraba does and how is it different from any other structure under the Mudaraba. But the beauty of the Mudaraba that the Mudaraba can be restricted and unrestricted. Like the restricted Mudaraba is, can be specific to certain business and location. All location and unrestricted Mudaraba is the one which can do multi kind of businesses. Like the Mudaraba, under one structure you can do project financing. You can also do stock market investments. You can do all kind of tradings, leasing. But all those activities will adhere to Islamic financing principles. So as we discussed, I think we have already talked about the Rabbul Mal as an investor, Mudaraba as a manager. But here is something new, which talks about the profit sharing mechanism. So profits under this Mudaraba structure are distributed based on the pre-agreed ratio. So under the Mudaraba structure, the Mudarib and the Mudaraba should sit together and decide what should be the profit sharing ratio between the two. However, the losses, if Mudaraba incur losses, these losses are going to be divided. These losses are going to be borne by the Rabbul Mal, the investor, until and unless there is some kind of negligence from the Mudarib side. And under the Mudaraba structure, if you want to do any kind of business, you have all kind of Islamic products available. Like you can do leasing under Ijara model, you can do Mudaraba, you can do Murabaha, you can do Musharka, you can also do all kind of stock market investments. Of course, so under the same structure of Mudaraba, you can use any kind of Islamic product available. And later I will talk about that one of the projects that we are executing under the Burj Clean Energy Modaraba initiative. We are using the Ijara product to offer financing to our customer. So let's talk about the Islamic principles governing the Mudaraba. So if we talk about the Sharia compliance, so we have our Sharia advisor. Like for us, if I compare it, with my own Mudaraba, we have a Sharia advisor. We have a board which ensures that all transactions are approved and monitored, and 100% in compliance with Sharia principles. And of course, if you run any Mudaraba, you can't involve. You have to probate yourselves with any kind of haram activities. So we don't do any businesses which is not allowed in the Islamic principles, and fairness, something which is very important. So the whole idea about this Mudaraba structure coming in is to ensure and that your transparency and fairness are there for the investors to look at your numbers. The most, and I think the most important feature of Islamic financing structure, not particularly Mudaraba, but in general about Islamic financing, is the risk sharing mechanism. And under the Mudaraba structure, as I discussed, that Mudarib is the one which bear, Rabbul Mal is the one who bear the financial loss, while Mudarib invests his time and money and effort to the Mudaraba. But in the Musharka structure, of course, the losses are shared proportionately based on the investment. So these two modes of financing under the Islamic structure are the one which ensure there is a risk sharing between the two partners, right? And this is the beauty of Islamic finance. And if we compare it with any conventional kind of financing where the entire risk is borne by the borrower. The another key feature about the Islamic finance is, of course, it is purely an asset-backed financing. And during my early days at Mizan Bank, I have got the opportunity uh, to play a role of relationship manager, and where I offer multiple kind of facility to my clients. And of course, we have wide range of products available under the Islamic principle, of course, both in the short term space and in the long term space. And if you talk about the short term space, we have Murabaha kind of financing where you basically act as a trader, and client act as an agent for you, and you have a fixed rate of return agreed predetermined at the time of at the time of giving financing to your client. Ijara is something which is based on the leasing arrangement. It's of course a long-term kind of financing under the Islamic financing structure, and Istasna, Ijara, and Salam are basically based on the short-term kind of financing under the Islamic structure. Of course, Istasna and Tijara are the one uh, uh, who is more are the one which are more relevant for the manufacturing concerns, the products where you manufacture it and sell it into the market. And of course, nothing needless to mention is basically the prohibition of riba. The Islamic kind of financing offers profit sharing mechanism and cost plus modes of financing like Murabaha. So where you earn a fixed rate of return rather than an interest-based financing, which conventional banks does. And again, this is extremely important. And if we talk about the environmental friendly investments, which is of course Green Modaraba initiative, but ethical investing is very important, is very relevant and pertinent to our discussion, and particularly to our today's discussion. Islamic finance promotes ethical, equitable, and socially responsible financing practices, which makes it 100% aligned with sustainable development goals, where you ensure that your financing goes into those projects which not only environmental friendly, but it also provides benefits to the society. It ensures that you execute your projects in an ethical and equitable manner, and it brings in equality among the equality in the society as well. Islamic finance supports economic stability, social inclusion, and environmental stewardship. It channels fund into the projects that foster long-term societal benefits, such as renewable energy, affordable housing, infrastructure, and contributing to local sustainable efforts. And if I can give you an example here, that the projects that we are doing under the Clean Energy Modaraba initiative is purely, of course, environmental friendly projects. And not only environmental friendly, but we also ensure that it complies with ESG standards, which is environmental, social, and governance aspects. And it ensures that it meets all the criteria of ESG standards. So whatever projects we venture in, we ensure that the project is environmental friendly, and it gives not only the returns to the investors, but benefits the society as well. So under the Islamic financing structure, of course, you have all kind of Sharia compliance. You have the Sharia advisor, supervisory board, Sharia board, and your own board, which ensures that your financial institutions adhere to Islamic principles. Now, here comes the most important topic of our today's webinar, is about the Green Modaraba. So what is the Green Modaraba? So Green Modaraba is a Sharia compliant investment structure, of course, based on the structure of Modaraba itself, where there is Rabbul Mal and there is, of course, Al Mudarib. Rabbul Mal is the one who provides capital, and Modarab is the one who manages the fund. But here the mandate is to invest or finance only the renewable energy projects, which of course are environmental friendly. It's not specific to energy, but anything which is environmental friendly comes under the green energy or green Mudarba mandate. These projects includes solar energy projects, wind energy projects, anything related to environmental friendly like e-mobility, where you kind of finance electric vehicles, electric motorbikes. There is a concept of carbon credit. So if you are financing anything related to carbon credits, that also comes under the Green Mudarba initiative. And as we discussed earlier, that Mudarba operates on profit and sharing principles, and it ensures the risk is equitably distributed. So what are the key characteristics? Key characteristics of Green Mudarba is predominantly to make investments in renewable energy projects, green or the green initiative projects. Facilitate funding for eco-friendly projects reducing carbon footprint. So currently we are, as I discussed earlier, on the platform of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, we are seriously exploring financing electric vehicles, not only the vehicle but also the electric bike as well. So it will really help promote the eco-friendly projects and helps reducing the carbon footprints. By doing so, you basically align yourself with global sustainability agendas, wherein you ensure that the sustainable development goals are met. And it attracts ethical investors seeking Sharia-compliant, impact-driven opportunities. So whenever you basically take this initiative to launch your Mudarba under the green mandate, so the investor universe is quite big, because internationally and locally there are quite a lot of investors who want to make investments in the ethical or environmental friendly projects, who want to invest their money into Sharia compliant projects, and who want to make investment into impact driven opportunities as well. So when we were raising fund for our Mudarba over the last 2 years and closed this mandate last quarter, we have experienced the same. Though it was quite challenging for us because it was one of its kind in Pakistan, and it was the first clean energy Mudarba. But whenever we when we did the roadshow for our Mudarba to take it to the stock market, we met all kind of investors, and whenever we meet any investor, this kind of investment really attracts the investors, because it comply not only that it is environmentally friendly, but it also under the law of Sharia, which is Sharia compliant financing structure, and it also comes under the impact investments criteria as well. So most of the investors intrigue to this kind of investments, and fundraising becomes quite relatively easy, because you can easily attract investors to make investments into the initiatives which comes under the Green Energy Mudarba or the Green Mudarba. Last but not the least, this kind of Green Mudarba initiative bridge the financing gap for renewable energy projects in developing economies. So the economies like Pakistan, where we really want to make investments into and develop renewable energy projects, Green Mudarba has a mandate to do only these kind of projects. So and it acts as a conduit or a bridge where all investor can comes in and make investments into this Mudarba, and this Mudarba under the structure of Mudarib and Bulmal can use those investments and funds to deploy directly into the renewable energy or environmental friendly projects. So it really kind of bridge the financing gap which we are facing right now in our country, where we want to do environmental friendly projects, because with the recent decrease in equipment costs, we really see that from the economic perspective, these projects make 100% sense, as the cost of electricity through these projects are quite low in comparison to what the grid is offering to the end consumer, and it also benefits the environment. And you can also monetize those through by monetizing the carbon credits by selling credits into the market. So this last point is extremely important, because this kind of initiatives provide a right kind of bridge in terms of the Islamic financing towards promoting renewable energy projects in the developing economy like Pakistan. So, what is the structure of Green Modaraba? As we discussed earlier, that it uses the same structure of Modaraba, where it is a partnership based under the Islamic financing principles, and it combines the capital from investors with expertise from the managers. And here comes the right kind of expertise. So Modaraba and Green Modaraba is dedicatedly for green initiatives. So the Mudarib or the managers must have the right kind of expertise, or should be a subject matter expert within this space, so that he can manage those funds given by the Rabbul Mal in a right and correct way. Of course, with an understanding of Islamic financing structures. So with our initiatives of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, our sponsors and the senior management has the right kind of skill sets, not only in the space of Islamic finance, but also has the track record of building renewable energy projects over the last 15 years. So we leverage those expertise, bring in investors to this green energy or Green Modaraba under the Green Modaraba umbrella, and launch this initiative using this structure. A key components again, Rabbul Mal and Mudarib, and legal framework is, of course, it has a Sharia compliant contracts, because it is governed by the Mudaraba structure, and of course it is regulated by the Islamic Finance Board and local authorities. So if we talk about the examples of Green Modaraba projects, as I discussed earlier, that you can do all kind of projects which comes under the clean energy, green energy, or environmental friendly initiative. So of course, if we do solar projects, we can offer financing, and we can offer financing to various segments of the society, not only to individuals, not only to industries, but also to the utilities as well, or the government. So we are as an off-taker. Similarly, for the wind technology, like solar, we can offer all kind of financing or the developing the structure to install wind turbine projects, where we can sell electricity or provide leasing facility to particularly industries and utility companies. And recently we have seen that, and that's why I said that we have a very huge growth potential if we talk about Green Modaraba, because there's quite a lot of demand for the energy storage, and if we can start leasing batteries to the client, it makes complete sense for the industries to venture into this space of energy storage, where you can store solar energy or the wind energy, and use those solar energy units in the night when the solar is not available. So this kind of leasing or Green Modaraba structure helps industries to take on this energy storage initiatives for their manufacturing facilities. And the last but not the least is about the e-mobilities, where we can also offer leasing facilities under the DM and the Ijara mode of financing for individuals to basically use all kind of electric vehicles, including electric bikes as well. I can see a few hand raised. So Madhya, if you allow, we can take questions right now, and but it's completely up to the organizers if you can take questions right now or you want to take it at the very end.
So we appreciate if you continue with your session, and in the end, we have 5 minutes specifically allotted for it to ask questions. If you wish to take question right now, you can, as per your discretion.
Great. So what I want to do, I'll try to wrap up the presentation in the next maybe 10 minutes, and then we can allocate next last 15 minutes for Q&A so that we can have a more interactive discussion rather than just me talking and you listening, right?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So let's skip this slide. So moving on to our moving on with the presentation. So why Islamic finance is better suited for green projects? So if we talk about, and earlier we discussed that there's a concept of ethical investments, and when we talk about the ethical investments, so environmentally or socially responsible projects comes in first, right? And internationally, we have witnessed that quite a lot of funds are basically deploying into this space where the projects are not only environmentally friendly but also social, creating an impact in the society as well. And here comes the Islamic finance structure of Green Modaraba becomes so relevant if you talk about the ethical investment. Similarly, of course, when we talk about excluding riba and gharar, and we are basically talking about the risk sharing mechanism. Under the Green Modaraba structure, we are in the risk sharing mechanism where the risk is being shared not only by the Madari but also the Rabul Mal as well. Similarly, when we talk about the green projects, we talk about the long-term infrastructure financing and long-term infrastructure project development, which is particularly backed by the assets. So since Islamic finance is also backed by all kind of asset financing, so so it becomes more relevant for us to use Islamic products for green energy projects. And since renewable energy equipments are long lasting, having a useful life of more than 10-15 years given by the manufacturers, so it promotes durability for longer run and have long-term sustainability under the Islamic finance structure. And last but not the least, as we discussed earlier, it is completely aligned with UN SDGs, where you can ensure number of SDGs complying when we do the Green Modaraba projects. So what kind of options do we have when we do, or the financing instruments we have when we talk about the renewable energy projects? We can do sukuk, right? We can do istasna, we can do ijara, we can do musharaka and mudarba. And to give you a bit more perspective, that recently we have and give you an example that for our own clean energy mudarba, we are contemplating issuing our own sukuk to raise funds, and that would be a short-term sukuk. And not only we are doing it, but other industries and other players in the market are also raising funds using the Islamic bond structure, which is sukuk. Moreover, if we talk about giving financing facility to our customers, the Green Modaraba can use ijara mode of financing, where you can give financing up to 20 years of loan period. There is no restriction as such, and one of the projects that we are doing for our client is based on 20-year ijara facility. Similarly, there are many other Islamic structure as well, mudarba and musharaka. Of course, when we talk about the sukuk structure, you need to have some underlying Islamic facility under this sukuk. It can be, Shirkatul Musharka, it can be Ijara, and it can be Murahaba. So you can use either of these Islamic structure while issuing sukuk for your own company. Since we have already discussed about sukuk, we have already discussed istasna, muraba, ijara, musharaka, so we can skip these slides. Benefits of Islamic finance for developers. So we being as Modaraba also acting as a developer for our own projects, and we basically originate deals. So we are using a Modaraba structure and performing all kind of activities which developer can do. And as far as the financing is concerned, we are offering a financing facility to our customers as well, like Ijaras and Musharka. So Modaraba is quite flexible is in as far as Modaraba structure is concerned. And with this, Modaraba shares risks with financiers and reducing financial burden. And it is completely asset-backed structure, ensuring transparency and accountability. Moreover, as we discussed earlier, it is environmentally friendly and it completely aligns with the ESG goal as well. It helps reducing the carbon footprint. And to add to what I said earlier regarding the carbon credit thing, and over the last 1 year, we have seen that this carbon credit market is evolving in Pakistan, where you can sell international renewable energy certificates to those buyers which want to offset their carbon emission locally. And to give you an example, and that for our projects, Burj Clean Energy Modaraba is continuously selling IREX in the local market. Of course, there are multiple market operators available, creating a market in itself locally of carbon credits. Of course, not carbon credit, but of course, IREX, which is in the name of International Renewable Energy Certificates. Access to Sharia compliant investors. As I said earlier, it becomes quite relatively easy when you raise financing for Sharia compliant investments, right? Because there are many investors internationally, locally, both, and the market size of those investment is quite huge. And of course, using this Green Modaraba structure, you can tap into those growing pool of Islamic finance investors because it appeals to ethical and faith-based investment funds. And of course, as we discussed about the investments, there should be returns to it. And as I said earlier, that the renewable energy projects are offering significant returns, sizable returns to the investors. And recently, as we have witnessed that the project cost of renewable energy projects has gone down significantly, reduced significantly based on the recent advancement of the technology, makes these projects quite feasible and lucrative for investors to make investments into. And it gives very sustainable long-term returns to the investors making investments into the Green Modarabas. Of course, with these all benefits, there are challenges and hence the opportunities. Challenges, of course, is limited awareness of Islamic finance. And if I talk about Pakistani market in particular, we have seen that we have evolved in terms of the awareness of the Islamic finance. And when I started my career a decade ago with Mizan Bank, the awareness of the Islamic finance was not much, right? But over the years, we have seen that quite a lot of banks, conventional banks, have opened windows, Islamic window, and convert themselves into Islamic bank completely. So there has been quite a lot of awareness, but still there is some limitation because understanding of the Islamic structure is still something which we need to improve on, work on. and higher structure cost for Islamic compliant instruments. At times, the transaction cost may increase because you may need to appoint certain advisors, certain consultants. It may involve more documentation as such. So the transaction costs may increase if you opt for Sharia compliant instruments. But as we move on, these efficiencies, these costs will go down as we move on to the more efficient way of bringing in the Islamic compliant or Sharia compliant instruments. Opportunity is enormous. Since I have been witnessing being part of this clean energy initiative, clean energy fund initiative in the name of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, I have witnessed that there has been a growing demand for green financing as it offers a bridge to finance to basically fulfill the financing gaps in the emerging market. And with the integration of ESG framework, it makes complete sense to investors to venture on this green Modaraba or renewable energy Islamic financing projects. Lastly, I would like to quickly run through the case study and I'll briefly talk about it so that we have enough time for Q&A later on. So this case study is about Pakistan's first captive wind project, which is in the execution for one of the largest cement manufacturing company in Pakistan, where we are installing wind turbine at their premises under the sale and leaseback structure, which is completely Sharia compliant, right? So this case study is about the installation of a single turbine within the premises of the off-taker. And with this project, we are under this project execution, we are using the structure of Ijara SLB, which is Ijara Sale and Leaseback, where we are buying the turbine from the client and leasing it back to the same client using the Ijara structure. And this Ijara is for up to 20 years, where we are providing leasing to our client for 20 years. And in this structure, the entire capex is being done by our own Darba, where we are raising equity and debt on our books, providing financing. And on top, we are also the developer for the project. And after raising financing and completing the installation part of this project, at the time of the COD, we will start selling electricity under the lease structure and recovering our costs and returns for during the period of next 20 years. It has been quite a lot of learning experience throughout this transaction structuring, where we not only need to ensure that the structure is complied as far as the green energy initiative is concerned, but we have to ensure that it remains a Sharia compliant at any touch point, and of course offers and cost effective and offers significant returns to investors and to client as well. So I would like to open the floor for Q&A so that we can have more questions for the next 15 minutes, and I'll try to make this 15 minutes more interactive. So over to you, Madhya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Really very thankful for this excellent
Hello,
presentation.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ji, walaikum salam.
Mr. Talha Ameer Khan, I'm very thankful to you for this session, sir. I'm Syed Mohammed Askari. I work for Bank Al-Habib Limited, sir. Sir, I need to explain you that before working in a bank, I have been associated for past 11 years. I was used to work for K Electric, the Karachi-based electricity company, and I know all the rules pertaining to the generation, transmission, distribution, and the consumption of electricity. And as it is a very related topic of the renewable energy, sir, I need to ask you one thing, that is Ijara helps to create benevolent funds and efforts for the general public betterment. But in the long run or in the bigger picture, I need to explain as K Electric has the monopolistic license for the distribution or facilitate its customer, and all the electricity whatever it is generated from IPPs or likewise your company, it goes to the grid of the Multan, and government has to give a certain, I must say, share of electricity to K Electric, as well as K Electric generates its own energy. So what do you think that it directly helps consumer of Karachi or the Karachiites to get entertained by your company? And next part of my question is that, as you mentioned earlier, that it's you have been paid or invested a paid up capital of, if I'm not wrong, of 1 billion rupees or 1 billion or whatsoever in currency. But have you offered general public initial offering of shares, or have you acquired public capital for your company? Kindly respond.
Correct. Thank you so much, Askari, for your question. So when we did our IPO the last quarter, we offered our shares to general public. Since it was a listing on GEM board, so it offered to only accredited investors, a qualified investors, pool of investors. So we offered it to general public, but it wasn't the general public, it was to the accredited investors. But we have planned to migrate ourselves to main board in the next year and so where we will offer our shares to general public eventually. Can we take more questions? Faraz?
Please carry on for us.
We have Osama as well.
Hello, Assalamu
Yes.
alaikum, Talha.
Walaikum salam.
Nice to see you and great presentation. I just had a couple of questions. So you mentioned that the company is focusing on renewable projects, so solar, wind, etc. But are you considering small non-renewable projects such as waste to incineration, energy incineration plants, or urban parking complexes, these small projects that would, generate revenue and be easy to complete? The lifetime would be low. Or are you only focusing on these long-term projects?
Osama, thank you so much for your question. So we are interested in making investments in any kind of projects which are environmentally friendly in any way. So so if we talk about waste to heat or waste to energy projects, we can do those as well. And as I mentioned earlier, that we are also exploring financing the e-mobility or EVs. We are also thinking of entering into the retail space where we can help individual installing solar on their rooftops. So anything which comes under the mandate of environmental friendly or clean energy, we are happy to make investments into and see where we can, where we can help improving the society and all. So if if the projects that you mentioned comes under the environmental friendly mandates, we are happy to have a look at it.
Okay, thank you. Just one more question. Are you engaged in any projects, or if you cannot discuss, that's fine, where NGOs or academic institutions are playing a role in or supporting these projects?
It's something very interesting. I think you raise a very interesting question that I need to see if that comes under the mandate or not, because we are regulated by SECP. So we need to see if this initiative come under our mandate or not. but if indirectly it helps the environment reducing carbon footprints, or it helps clean energy or clean environmentally friendly initiative, again, we are happy to look at it.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Talha.
Thanks. Ji, Sami Sab.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
Sirji, I have three questions. The first one is, please share the risk mechanism of this project, Green Modaraba product. The second one question is about the profit distribution mechanism of this Green Modaraba product. The third one is that whether you are promoting corporate customer or clientages or retail clientage. Three questions.
Correct. So let's take these one by one. So as far as the risk sharing mechanism is concerned, so we invest in those projects where we mitigate the risks which are there in the project. So for example, if we are investing in the solar energy projects, so as a fund manager, we employ best of the best contractors to execute those projects. We raise financing for those projects, and of course, ultimately we invest in those projects because we want to sell electricity to the end consumer. So there is a credit risk. So we ensure that we have all kind of securities, waterfall mechanism where we can mitigate credit risk as well. So we as fund managers ensure that all kind of project risk, credit risk, and even environmental risks are fully mitigated. And if it is not fully mitigated, of course, we take insurances to ensure that there is a foolproof risk mitigation strategy available for each and every project, ensuring that our investors' money are invested in a professional way, right? And we as fund managers need to ensure, and it is our fiduciary responsibility to ensure that all kind of risks are properly mitigated. Similarly, the profit sharing mechanism with investors of the Modaraba is dependent upon the fund making money, and the profit sharing mechanism is basically is similar to what the company does. So if Modaraba makes money, we are happy to give dividends to our investors. Of course, since we are a growth fund, we want to deploy whatever the additional money we make into a new project so that your wealth as an investor keep on increasing. But of course, we want to have some dividend story as a return to the investor. So we also plan to give dividends, provided that Modaraba makes money. And since, as I mentioned, that we make investments into those projects where we have foolproof risk mitigation strategy and desired rate of returns is achieved. So of course, the Modaraba will make profits out of those projects, and we will share those returns with investors. And generally, under the Modaraba structure in Pakistan, the management company of the Modaraba has a mandate to take up to 10% of the total profits as the management fee, which goes to the managers. But all remaining 90% of the profit is for the investors, whether the company or the fund decided to give those 90% of the income in form of dividend or reinvest it into the new projects. And to answer your last query, I think you were asking about the projects specifically for individuals or the industry. So currently we are doing projects for the commercial and industrial clients, but we have planned to enter into the retail sector as well, where we can offer financing facilities to individual to solarize their homes and all, and also take loans for electric vehicles, electric motorbikes. Moving on to the next one, Sajjad.
This is the last question we are taking. Afterward, I have two questions from you.
Sure.
वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
सर बहुत अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन थी, अच्छा लगा उस सुन के सारी चीज़ें। सर मेरे दो सवाल हैं। एक तो पहला सवाल ये है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ मुदारबास कंपनीज जो कि स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में लिस्टेड है, लेकिन अगर उनके फाइनेंशियल्स वगैरह देखें तो मेरे ख्याल में प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी है, लेकिन वो ज़्यादातर जो उनके जो डिविडेंड है वो इतना ज़्यादा अट्रैक्ट करते हैं इन्वेस्टर को कि वो इन्वेस्ट करें और अगेंस्ट में अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट उनको इतना डिविडेंड मिले। दूसरा सवाल ये था सर मेरा कि जो मैंने नोट किया बेसिकली हम इन बैंक और क्रेडिट डिपार्टमेंट में हूँ, कैट डिपार्टमेंट में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, तो हमारे पास बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और वो आती हैं जिसमें जैसे स्टेट बैंक में सबसे ज़्यादा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी वगैरह के हवाले से जो फाइनेंसिंग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो बेसिकली मैंने नीड देखी है मार्केट में, जैसे अगर आप कराची में देखें तो ओवरऑल हमारे यहाँ इन्वायरमेंट गर्म है और सारी चीज़ें, तो जो सोलर को सपोर्ट कर सकती है, विंड को भी सपोर्ट कर सकती है, लेकिन जो जैसे मोस्टली ज़्यादातर यहाँ पे फ्लैट सिस्टम है और फ्लैट्स की मेंटेनेंस वगैरह बहुत हाई है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो भी हमारे एक्सपेंसेस हैं। बहुत सारे लोग हैं, कमेटीज़ हैं जो चाहती हैं कि वो सोलर के ऊपर आना चाहती हैं ताकि वो सोलर को लगा के और उसको अपनी मेंटेनेंस और उसको कम कर सकें, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरे ख्याल में मार्केट में इस तरह से प्रोडक्ट तो है लेकिन कोई ऐसी फैसिलिटी नहीं है कि उनको फैसिलिटेट किया जा सके, क्योंकि अगर सोलर लगाना भी चाहें बिल्डिंग के लिए तो मेरे ख्याल में 70 से 80% जो आपकी एनर्जी है वो सेव हो सकती है आपके बिल्स वगैरह के हवाले से अगर सोलर पे कर लिया, लेकिन उनको कोई ऐसी प्रोडक्ट या ऐसा प्रोडक्ट तो है लेकिन ऐसी कोई फाइनेंसिंग फीस नहीं है कि वो इस तरह मूव ऑन हो सके, या
Correct.
डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इतने हैं कि वो उसको फैसिलिटी को अवेल नहीं कर पाते।
Correct.
तो वो सवाल है सर, मैं उसका थोड़ा सजेशन भी लेना चाहता है, कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है या कोई ऐसी फाइनेंसिंग है जिससे वो कर सकें और अपने मेंटेनेंस कम हो सके उनकी, और जो चीज़ें हैं वो नॉर्मलाइज हो सके फॉर फ्यूचर इन्वेस्टमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से।
Correct. Thank you so much, Sajjad, for your participation. So, to answer your first query, yes, there are many listed Mudarabas in Pakistan, and since by regulation Mudaraba can only be incorporated once it is floated on PSX. So, all Mudarabas are listed on Pakistan Stock Exchange in Pakistan. So as us like Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, but majority of them, in fact, 90% of those Mudarabas are incorporated to do the leasing and the renting mode of financing. But in our case, what we are doing pure kind of business development or the project development kind of initiatives under this Mudarba structure, which is the true essence of Mudarba under the Islamic finance, where we are developing the project, structuring it, raising financing, executing it, and after installation, maintaining those assets and making money for the investors. So it's a complete end-to-end kind of journey where our Mudarba brings in to the table under the Mudarba structure. There is no such Mudarba exists in Pakistan which is doing pure kind of economic activity or business development kind of projects under this structure. So that's why the investors are not really looking up to the Mudarba as an investment vehicle, because this sector has become dead because we haven't used this vehicle in a proper way. And that's the challenge that we have been facing whenever we go to the market, because the brand itself is not that recognized as such. So you are right, but we are pretty hopeful that as we move on, the things will get better. And with these kind of awareness session that we are having right now, and really, and credit goes to Al-Sadiq Institute that they are promoting this structure within this space of professional individuals, where you can raise those questions and hear about the success story about the Mudarba. And to answer your second query, and you are absolutely right that there is no product as such available for individuals and for the companies where you offer a one-stop solution and you can take financing and advisory to install solar projects or any kind of renewable energy projects for your factory and even for your homes. And here is the use of Burj Clean Energy Modaraba, or here is the business model becomes more relevant to this case. Like, we offer one-stop solution uh, for every kind of segment in the society. Currently, we are active on the commercial and industrial space, where we offer complete solution, one window operation, where client can come to us. We size the projects, we structure it, we raise financing, ensure all kind of technical compliance, uh, procure all kind of top tier equipments, executed, hire best of the best vendor, get the project into execution phase, and then operate it for the next up to 20 years and all. So there is this need available in the market where there is no complete solution available, and of course, and we want to cater to this need by using this Modarabas structure. And later you will see, you will have more options because we have seen that this sector has grown quite a lot. I'm talking about the renewable energy sector.
Thank you, sir. Now, I have 3 questions.
Sure.
Okay. Now, my very first question is, how can Pakistan leverage international climate finance mechanism like that of the Green Climate Fund or the UN Sustainability Governance Bonds by strengthening its own ESG and carbon reporting infrastructure?
But the first and the foremost thing that uh, if we compare ourselves, like if we compare Pakistan with any other emerging economies, we are lagging behind in terms of promoting renewable energy projects. We are far behind. You can compare us with countries like Sri Lanka. You can compare us with countries like Bangladesh, India, who are the comparable economies and having the same societal structure. So there's quite a lot of room available for investors to make investments into. And the kind of returns that we have been witnessing as an investor into this piece, we can easily go into the international market and give those returns. To give you an example, recently we have been awarded as a successful bidder by NEPRA for the K Electric 240 megawatt site neutral hybrid project, where we are one of the consortium partners with 2 more equity partners. And we are going to install 240 megawatt wind solar project where K is the off-taker. And give you and to give you more perspective, we are into the phase of raising debt and equity for this project. And the kind of interest that we are getting from international multilateral agencies and DFI is very encouraging. And because the returns that we are giving them on the debt side and on the equity side is very lucrative. So as far as the climate specific fundraising is concerned, we can easily say that the market size is very big. There's a lot of potential available, and the returns that we are offering is unmatchable if you compare ourselves with any other emerging economies, because we as Bush internationally also do international projects. We also look at the economies like Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, European markets. We are doing projects in Canada. We are also doing projects in Middle East. So the returns that Pakistani market is offering is one of the highest in the region. So as far as the returns are concerned and the market size, we can easily, go to international players and raise funds. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. My next question is something related to economics. What is your perspective about incentives our government, like in terms of tax, rebates, guarantees, or subsidies, should the government of Pakistan provide to attract both domestic and foreign investors in such green Modarabas?
Correct. So as far as my personal perspective is concerned, whenever there is a government intervention, be it in the form of subsidy, be it in the form of any kind of concession, the sector doesn't grow. And if you really want to grow the sector, and if you talk about Mudarba or the green Islamic finance, the sector has to stand on its own and make economic sense out of it. So we have seen that government has given some concession, some kind of green financing at a concessional rate previously, few years back, and we have seen that industries took that concessional loan at a very low rate and installed solar energy projects in their factory premises. And we have seen that there were few IPP projects as well with government as offtake using that concessional financing at a very cheap rate. But of course, that facility is no more available with us right now. So all kind of concessions, tax benefits, subsidies can work can work to promote investments into this space, but that can only work for short term, and that government has already done previously. But now the sector has to stand on its own and make economic sense out of it. But to add more to this context for international investors, the only thing that government can do is basically to allow a profit repatriation for international investors. Few years back, we have witnessed that international investors were facing challenges in taking their profits out of the country. But now, we as international investors into few local making investments into few local projects, we are easily taking our money back, to international countries quite easily. So this is the thing which government should support and to bring in international investors into play. But I'm not a great proponent of having more subsidies or any kind of tax rebates because it creates quite a lot of inefficiencies for the sector.
Definitely. And last but not the least, technology and innovation, something that really intrigues me. What is your perspective about digital tools such as blockchain and AI? Can it enhance the credibility, traceability, and transparency of carbon footprints data in Pakistan?
I think this is a very interesting question. And recently, I've been talking. I've been talking to few startup companies in Pakistan, uh, where they are exploring this thing locally. And one of the founders of this startup, whom I'm talking to, has designed a portal or an app where it provides all kind of AI-driven actionable items for energy management. Of course, renewable energy management. So I can see uh, quite a lot of involvement of AI for the purpose of energy management, renewable energy management in Pakistan, and not only in Pakistan, but of course internationally as well. And I haven't seen this kind of involvement as such to greater extent in the international space as well. So if something comes in internationally, I think that should also come into Pakistan as well, because use of AI and blockchain in the renewable energy sector, and particularly for Islamic finance, will really help. And as I discussed earlier, that the technology as far as the equipment is concerned has improved a lot in the last 1 year and so, and that is something that I have witnessed personally. And with that improvement in technology, the overall costs of any renewable energy project has gone down significantly, which makes the complete economic sense to make investments into renewable energy projects. But with this AI and blockchain technology further coming into this space, I think it makes the sector more resilient going forward. And I'm seeing this thing coming in pretty soon in Pakistan and in the international space as well.
Yes, agreed. Thank you, sir. As we conclude, I really want to thank you and thank each and every one of our participants for your participation, active active participation, in fact,
Yeah.
and your presence. Let
Thank
us
you.
take forward today's learning, not just as knowledge, but as action by advocating and applying ethical, green, and Sharia-aligned practices in our personal and professional spheres. Jazakallah khair. May we all continue to innovate and collaborate for a greener and more equitable future through Islamic finance. Thank you again, sir, for such a wonderful session. Stay connected with Al-Sadiq Institute for more webinars. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.